Welcome to part 12, in our tutorial series on how to develop a Contras-like game, with free visual game engine Gdevelop. In this video, we're going to address a couple of bugs with the firing and animation system that should have made our player shoot at a certain fire rate, and that resets the animation every time we press the fire button. Finally, following a request from a subscriber, we are going to show how you can shift visually the fun when picking the new one. But first, let's check quickly everything that we have done up to date. We have the new levels art, and we have the new power-up pickup system that triggers a new behavior of the shots being fired. Not bad at all. Slowly the game is starting to show between the development scaffold that we have created. Let's go then to fixing the bugs, and for that, let's go to the game main events sheet. Even if we keep the fire button pressed, the player will only shoot once, when it should be firing at a certain fire rate. The problem is being created by two different elements. The first one is located in the event where we are testing the player has fired and that the fire rate timer is bigger than the threshold defined. To avoid shooting more than one bullet each time, we have added a trigger once. Supposedly, the trigger once is reset when the condition being bet changed. So, if the timer is reset, the condition is not met anymore, and the trigger once should be reset. But, this is not happening and the condition is blocking the entire condition until the button fire is released and pressed again. To solve the problem, what we have to do, is create a new event and put the entire shooting event as a sub-event of the new event. Then, move the has fired being equal to 1, to the new event. Theoretically, it should be working now, but then we have a second problem caused by the comparison between the timer next fire with the fire rate. At the beginning of the scene, we have initialized it to 0.25, but the comparison is not working, as if the initialization is not generating a comparable number. To solve this new problem, we need to perform two actions. First, let's go to the top of the event sheet, and in the onBeginning scene event, let's delete the initialization of the variable fire rate. Then, we have to go to the game view, select the gun object, and right-click to open the menu, and then choose Edit Object Variables. Then initialize the has fired variable with 0.25. If we run the game now, you can see that we have fixed all the bugs associated with the firing, but the animations are not yet correctly being played. To fix this, we need to go to the player idle state. For this, in the main game event sheet, scrolls down to the event where we are including the state, and click on the arrow to open up the state. When prompted to select the scene to be associated with, choose the game scene or any other scene that you want, as this has no direct impact on the game. The first thing that we have to do, is in the event with an empty condition where we are setting the idle animations, is to add the condition that the gun variable has fired is different to the value 1, which means that the gun has not been fired. Then, in the events, where we are setting the player idle fire and gun idle fire, let's add a new condition that will check that any of the idle fire animations is not being played. This will avoid the system to restart the animation and to let it be played. In our case we are go check against the player animations, but it could also be done with the gun animations as they are played together. Let's run the game. And now our animation are being played correctly without being restarted. Now, let's address the visual modification of the weapon when picking the new one. It could be done in different ways, but in the case that we have set up the game sprites, we have to go through the option of animations. Because since we can shoot in several different angles based on animations, we have to use animations to change the weapon too. So for this, what we are going to is to create a new set of animations that will have the same animation names, but that will be ending with the number of the weapon, or in case you wanted the name of the weapon. Then, in the game events, we only have to make sure to change the animations, based on the weapon active. So, in the game view, double-click over the gun object. And for the overall set of animations defined, let's add the number 0 to the end of the animation names. Once done, we need to replicate all the animations for each weapon that we want to integrate. In our case, for now, let's think that we have just one new weapon and that we will implement it only for the idle and idle fire. So let's create those two animations, and let's give them the same names but finished with the number 1, to reflect that it is the second weapon. Once created, we must import the frames of animations to each animation. To generate the new animations, we will use Piskel to modify them with the new gun, which in our case, will be only slightly changed by deleting the scope of the gun. If we wanted a new gun, then we would have to import it to each frame and make its animation. Once finished, save it and repeat the process for all gun animations. Import them into the animations. And once done, click on the edit points to make sure that the origin point is correctly set for the new set of animations. You can see that the button share points with all animations are disabled. Click on it to activate it again. You can see that the origin point is moved to the bottom center of the image. Click close, and then apply to get back to the game view. Now, we need to tell the game what animations need to be played based on the status of the weapon that is active. So, since in our case, we are changing only the idle and idle fire, let's go to the state player idle to make the changes. Look for the event, where the gun idle is played and double-click on the action. In the animation name, after the current animation name type plus physicPlayer.variable string weapon. This will add to the name of the animation to be played, the number of the weapon that is active, allowing for the right animation to be played. Let's replicate the same process for the animation for the gun idle fire. Once done, run the game. You can see that as soon as you pick up the new game, the game changes, and when firing the weapon that is used to fire the new shots is also changed. To make perfect, you must do it for all the gun animations. In the next video, we will start to integrate new enemies. We will start with the turret, which is seen in a lot of different places right from the beginning of the first level, as it raises some interesting challenges. We hope that you have liked this video. If it has been the case, consider subscribing, giving a like, and clicking on the notification button. If you have any questions, problems, or comments, don't hesitate in putting a comment and we will answer as fast as we could. See you in the next video, game developers.